Hey everyone, Board Game Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I have a new copy of Newton here. It's a Euro game by Cranio Creations. So Darwin's Journey hasn't delivered yet, but I love playing the prototype still, and I wanted to check out their predecessor to it, which I believe is this game right here, Newton. Now, there are some things that are similar between the games. I think Darwin's Journey has some of the more fun mechanics, and it's a little more polished, and is more strategic choices in it, while I feel like Newton is easier to understand and play. I myself prefer Darwin's Journey to Newton, but I'm thinking Darwin's Journey is going to be my #1 current top game. And I can actually say that because I have that prototype copy that I've played way more than just a couple times. But Newton is still a good game, and I will continue to play it and get it to the table. So this video is going to be a little bit different from my other videos, as usually there are more of how to play in the game and a little bit of my thoughts on the game. While since this game has been out for a while, it's not a new game. You're probably not coming to watch my video for the rules explanation, as there are several other videos that do a great job with this already. I actually really liked Before You Play's video with Monique and Naveen. Anyways, players all start with a hand of cards, and when played, they will determine their type of action for that turn. A card is placed down on a player's player board, and all of the same type of icons matching the played card will enhance the strength of that action. As the game goes on, players will also be adding cards to their section to strategically form more powerful actions. Let me go over all the possible actions that you can do in the game, but know that for each action that you choose to perform, you will also need to check its strength by counting how many similar actions that match your played out card. Let's start with this action here, which is Lessons. Here you will take one of the available action cards with a value equal to the value of the action that you played to add that card to your hand. This is how you gain new cards, and the higher the strength is, the better the card will be. The bottom of the card shows the symbol for the type of action that you can perform with it, while the top of the card will show a special action, all which can do several different things. But remember, you will be discarding at least one card per turn, so if you never take this action, you might not have enough cards to play to take the appropriate number of actions in a round. This here is the work action. You will move your marker forward on the work track by the number of spaces equal to the value of that action, and then you will also receive the number of coins equal to the value of that action as well. On this track, there are several special spaces. Your marker must end its movement on that exact space to take its bonus action. But the main thing about this action is it is how you will gain money, and money is very important in this game. This here is the technology action. You will move one of your students forward on this track by the number of spaces equal to the value of your action. This track starts in one spot, but then splits into several different paths. When moving each time, there will be a fork in the road. You'll have to choose which path to take because you can't go backwards. You will be able to gain more students during the game to move through different forks in the road, but you cannot move more than one student in the same action. Whenever your student passes over a bonus token, these are the circle tokens on the board. You will take it and you can activate its effect. Also, if it's a special space on the track, then your student must end its movement on that exact space. At the end of 4 of the pass, there are objective spaces, and to move into these, you need to fulfill the requirement depicted on that spot. This action ultimately is all about gaining bonus tokens and landing on special action spaces. This is the travel action. You will move your scientist along the route on the map by the number of spaces equal to the value of your action. Sometimes you might have to pay coins to go along a certain route, and when your scientist passes over a bonus token, you'll take it and you'll gain its effects. Whenever your scientist finishes its movement in a city, a university, an ancient land, an objective, or master space, then you will take a travel cube from your study board and place it on that space. When you place your 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th travel cube, they will score you 1, 2, 4, or 8 victory points. Other players will be able to place their travel cubes on the same areas if they travel there, but players will also be racing to gain those bonus tokens before another player does. This action is all about moving your scientist and placing out travel cubes. Now, this is the study action, and you can take one of your bookshelf tiles and place it on your study board in a book space of your choice. But it should match the shelf of a value equal to or lower to the value of the action. The top is a power of 1, and the second row is the power of 2, and the third row is the power of 3. The spaces on your board are composed of spaces distributed over 3 shelves, either horizontal or vertical, and each of these spots have a different requirement that you need to fulfill before you can place your bookshelf tile on it. Whenever you fulfill an entire row or column, you have made a scientific discovery, and you will receive its victory points according to the number indicated on the arrow at the end of each round. Also, at the very bottom of this bookshelf, there are 5 spaces that you can add tiles of added income of different sorts. So pretty much you need to meet the requirements shown on a book space. You'll need to take a bookshelf tile from your supply from top to bottom. And when you take the third bookshelf tile from a pile, you can immediately receive a bonus, which is either 1 potion, 4 coins, 1 master card, or 8 victory points. So pretty much with this action, you are strategically fulfilling requirements that match how you play to gain extra points and bonuses in the game. The last action that you can take is using the Joker, and this Joker symbol can be used to perform a basic action of your choice. The value of the action that you choose to perform is equal to the total number of symbols of that action visible on your desk plus 1 represented as the Joker that you just played. The Joker is never counted when calculating the value of actions performed later in the game, only for the action when it's played itself. The Joker can really help when you need to take a certain action or to take a more powerful action when it's available. So this action will be used quite a bit in the game, but most likely later in the round. As the game progresses, each turn tends to become stronger than the player's last. Players will get better cards, move further on the tracks and on the map, and get to a place where they can fulfill requirements in their library to gain additional points. The Joker card helps with flexibility as well as potions, which can be used to represent a book as far as completing the objective in your library or spending 3 potions to complete a university or ancient land objective. Coins are used to draw additional action cards, increase the value of a basic action, to buy potions, or enrolling new students to be placed on the technology track. After 6 rounds of this, players add points from their travel cube, their students, their marker, points from their MasterCards playing during the game, and all of these points are added to their current points, and the player with the most points wins the game. So really, you're using cards with 5 different symbols to take actions, and that's pretty simple, but the puzzle as to how you go about using them, the strongest way possible is the trick to the game. And the wild makes it so that you can be a tad bit more flexible instead of stuck in the corner with your decisions. In addition to these main action, players can spend coins or potions to take other quick actions to help out. I like how each player's board and starting cards are a tad bit different, so players aren't exactly at the same spot, but super close to it. Different strategies will help different players. The most complex part of the game is the bookshelf on your board, which requires you to cover spots when you can and when they are fulfilled. In addition, you can strategically cover up all spots in a row or column to gain points at the end of each of the 6 rounds. And this is one of the best ways to score points in the game. Adding to the strategy is deciding which path to move your student down. Once they get to the end of the path, they stay there, and you will need to get a new student onto the board to move and to make use of that action again. Each player has 4 students total to use. The work and the technology tracks also have a way to get to objective spaces for the in-game scoring, and as you work up on those tracks, you will gain some small and large bonuses along the way to help you out. Don't forget to take the lesson action while playing the game as well. Maybe one of the most important actions, as you lose one card at the end of each round, so you have to buy at least 5 cards during the game so that you can take 5 actions each round, and choosing which cards depending on their top books to help you with your library, and also the bottom to make your stronger actions and actions that you can perform even. I don't think this game is as good as Darwin's Journey again, but I can see why this game has good notes about it, and I would continue to play this game in addition to playing Darwin's Journey. I think Newton is less complex and a little bit more straightforward. It can be played a lot quicker, and it's a very solid game focusing on the card play mechanic that it has. Now, the game's theme doesn't quite shine through. Sir Isaac Newton could very well in this game be like Albert Einstein. Nothing really makes this game about Sir Isaac Newton. Also, it's a multiplayer solitaire type game. I personally don't mind that. In fact, my wife really likes games like that because she doesn't want people messing up with her and her plans. But there is little player interaction in the game. So, with that said, you should study to become one of the world's greatest geniuses with your family and friends in Newton by Cranio Creations. Again, this is Boardgame Brody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.